All right, so after all these years, I decided I'd build the JCM 800 2204. Starting right out, no, it is not bone stock. I started out using 100 microfarad filter caps, a pair of hundreds instead of the standard pair of 50s for a bit more tighter and low end, less power sag. I also did change the tone stack. I used a 47K slope resistor instead of Marshall's 33K. I used a 47 nanofarad capacitor feeding into the middle instead of the 22 nanofarad that Marshall typically uses. And I used a 250 picofarad cap instead of the 500 feeding into the treble. It kind of changes so that the mid-range can get a little bit more of a dump around 600 hertz. Now, standard Marshall layout, a couple other interesting things I did add. I did add the Mojo Tone effects loop. I also put a 120 volt AC receptacle out the back so that way I can plug other crap in there and have less extension cords. And as you'll notice, perhaps there to the side, I do have probes and a bias pot. I do have put a 50K bias pot in there so that way I could run anywhere 6L6s, 6550s. I've got lots of range. The tubes are EH6CA7s. I will tell you that they are pretty cold and lifeless in my opinion. They're not one of my favorites, but they were what I had laying around. Preamp tube is just a standard JJ and a couple of Marshall preamp tubes that I had laying around. Just wanted to put some stuff together to get it going. J&J caps, classic tone transformers throughout. So I'm just going to play some simple chords just so we can hear the differences of some other mods that I have switchable. This is the high input. Everything's set at middle except for the volume, which is at 1, because otherwise I'll probably blow my phone apart. And I'm just going to be hitting on the A. I'm not going to do anything fancy here. It's just so people can see the mods and if they want to try it themselves. So that's with the preamp set at half. And again, volume at 1. So I'm going to bring the preamp to about 8. Bring the preamp to full. Popular mods people like to do to their JCM 800s is the bright cap bypass. So by using a push-pull pot, I have now bypassed the bright cap. Very subtle difference, but it is there. Another favorite mod people like to do on the JVM series is negative feedback mods. This particular one, I use a push-pull pot on the treble, so I can use the standard 100K, or if I pull it out, she'll be to 200K. So here's the 100K. Loses a little bit of a crang, gets a little bit of more boom into it. One mod that I don't know, I'm sure other people have done it too, is on the V1B side, or the second half of V1, the 10K cathode resistor. I do have a switchable 10K in parallel, so I can go from 10K to 5K. That helps add a bit more gain, almost like kicking in an extra overdrive, but she does add more gain in it. Now, the changes on the EQ circuit, probably not going to be very drastic to most people. I mean, from the stock to this, there's subtle differences. Bass on full. Middle on high. Middle swept out. Treble on high. Ooh. Treble cut out. Yep, I think an overdrive in the front and she will kick into some major life. Thank you.